Imagine an oil tanker. Now, imagine thousands of them. That's the scale of the Gulf of Mexico disaster. Over 200 million gallons of crude oil gushed for 87 days, enough to cover Oklahoma. This wasn't just a spill, it was a wound in the earth, bleeding into the sea. For months, the world watched a live feed of oil billowing into the Gulf, powerless to stop it. This is more than a story about oil. It's about corporate negligence, ignored warnings, and a potential cover-up. We'll look at desperate attempts to plug the well and the use of chemical dispersants that may have made things worse. It's an environmental Armageddon, but also a human tragedy. Families lost loved ones, fishermen lost their livelihoods, and entire communities were changed forever. The disaster began with decisions made long before the first drop hit the water, a chain of human error and mechanical failure. The Macondo well was known to be dangerous, but pressure to finish the project led to shortcuts. Deepwater Horizon is a cautionary tale of profit over safety. The gusher was a mile beneath the surface, where darkness and pressure made every fix nearly impossible. Technologies were being invented on the fly, as misinformation flowed as freely as the oil. BP downplayed the leak, but the truth soon became undeniable. The world was left to wonder, what was really happening 5,000 feet below? Could anyone stop it? This is the story of Deepwater Horizon. April 20, 2010, was supposed to be routine for the 126 crew aboard Deepwater Horizon. But just before 10 p.m., a surge of methane shot up the drill pipe, triggering catastrophic explosions. The rig became a towering inferno, visible for miles. Chaos erupted, alarms blared, lights failed, and workers scrambled for survival. Some leapt over 100 feet into burning oil-slicked water. Amid heroic rescues, tragedy struck. 11 workers were lost, never to return. Their names became a somber roll call, marking the disaster's human cost. 2 days later, the rig sank, vanishing beneath the Gulf. The sinking tore the riser pipe from the wellhead, leaving oil to gush unchecked. An underwater camera confirmed the worst crude oil and gas spewing into the ocean. The inferno was over, but a new silent catastrophe had begun. The world braced for what came next. The real nightmare began after the rig sank. The leak was nearly a mile down, beyond human reach. Remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, became the only hope, piloted from ships above. The blowout preventer designed to seal the well had failed. The riser pipe was now a broken straw, gushing oil from multiple points. BP's engineers faced a problem with no manual, no precedent. Every solution was an experiment, broadcast live to the world. The deep sea created new obstacles. Methane hydrates, ice-like crystals clogged every device. Containment domes filled with hydrates and floated away, useless. The force of the blowout overwhelmed every attempt to cap it. BP initially claimed only 1,000 barrels a day were leaking. The real number was over 60,000. The abyss was releasing its secret with relentless force. Each failed attempt meant more oil, more damage. The world watched, helpless, as the disaster grew. The challenge was unlike anything ever faced before. BP's efforts to stop the leak became a public spectacle of failure. The 100-ton containment dome clogged with hydrates and was abandoned. The top kill plan, pumping mud into the well, failed under the pressure. Public relations fared no better. BP's CEO made tone-deaf remarks that enraged the public. Desperate, BP tried the junk shot, firing golf balls and tires into the blowout preventer. It failed. Cutting the riser pipe and capping it partially worked, but also increased the flow temporarily. Each failed attempt wasted precious time as millions more gallons poured into the Gulf. The world saw a global superpower humbled by the deep. The crisis was far from over. As oil gushed, BP deployed nearly 2 million gallons of Corexit, a chemical dispersant, into the Gulf. Dispersants break oil into droplets, aiming to keep slicks off the coast. But this was the first time they were injected a mile underwater. No one knew the consequences. Corexit's toxicity sparked outrage. Critics argued BP was trading one disaster for another. Instead of visible slicks, toxic plumes formed below, threatening marine life. The formula was kept secret, fueling public distrust. Cleanup workers and residents reported health problems, feeling like test subjects in a massive experiment. Years later, debate rages. Did dispersants help or make things worse? Some studies show increased toxicity to marine life. Others say it kept oil off the coast. The legacy is a toxic question mark that still hangs over the Gulf. Heartbreaking images defined the disaster: dolphins, turtles, and birds coated in oil, dying by the thousands. The spill devastated one of the world's richest marine ecosystems. Oil permeated every level of the food web, from deep-sea corals to coastal marshes. An estimated 100,000 sea turtles and over 1 million birds died. Dolphins suffered die-offs for years, showing signs of oil-related disease. On the seafloor, oil smothered ancient coral gardens, turning them into graveyards. The oil infiltrated wetlands, killing marsh grasses and accelerating erosion. The contamination persists in sediment, a poison that still affects marine life and coastline stability. The damage was not temporary, it fundamentally altered the landscape. Even now, the ecosystem shows signs of stress. Lesions in fish, reduced reproduction in dolphins and tuna. The Gulf is resilient, but the scars remain. The price of oil was a wound that may never fully heal. Beyond the environmental toll, the spill shattered the Gulf Coast's way of life. Fishing and tourism, pillars of the region, collapsed overnight. Waters closed, businesses shuttered, and families faced an uncertain future. The economic fallout was devastating, but the psychological toll ran deeper. People lost not just income, but identity and hope. Compensation was slow, legal battles dragged on, and many felt betrayed. BP paid over $60 billion in fines and compensation, and new regulations were enacted. But have we learned enough? Is offshore drilling any safer? The risks remain, and our ability to respond is still limited. Was justice truly served, or was it just the cost of doing business? Deepwater Horizon asks us, what price are we willing to pay for oil?